Oh hi! Thanks for watching my video. I have made several videos now where I've spoken about the good and the bad aspects of The Sims 4, and I think it would be fair to say that The Sims 4 gets the most heat when it comes to criticism. From the lack of features at the time of release to the issues that we're still having today, like the operational issues like Sims being buggy, walking through objects, crossing off commands, and many more issues that affect the flow of gameplay. And also the intended gameplay functionality falls short in some areas, like how much of the features are essentially Sims just going through the motions of doing the same thing but in a different scenario, making many new gameplay features feel the same as others but just in a different skin. But in my opinion, the most concerning trend is the way more and more life sim features have been sold in separate packs. I made a video a while back where I looked at a few examples of Sims 3 expansions, along with the cost, and compared it to how The Sims 4 took features of one expansion and sold them in multiple separate packs, for in some cases over twice the price. EA have been making smart moves in terms of capitalising on the uniqueness of The Sims and making as much profit possible, but it hasn't made them too popular with many Simmers. Some people in the Sims community have given up on playing The Sims altogether. I've always been quite open about being a huge fan of this game, and even in videos where I've criticised it, it's always been in the spirit of making it better and keeping the franchise alive. Like I mentioned earlier, The Sims has been quite a unique game ever since it came out, really. There have been other life sim games, of course, but nothing that has touched The Sims enough for them to be considered as serious competition. And the trouble with that is that they're able to sell any features, big or small, in as many different packs as they like. They don't have a benchmark or another entity forcing them to be more competitive in pricing and quality of content, making it possible for EA to sell entire packs focused on features that were previously already in just one expansion pack. I made a video a while ago where I spoke about The Sims 5, and that even though I was really excited to see this game, I still had a few concerns. If The Sims 5 was going to be following the trend of The Sims 4, then would it mean we'd end up with even more DLC? Would we end up with another game that costs over $1,000 to have all of the available content? And even with the cost out of the picture, what about the quality of the game? Would it again follow the trend of The Sims 4 and have similar bugs and glitches? The reality is there's a huge market for life simulation games, and if EA release a pack that wasn't tested as much as it should, or contains gameplay that is a repackaged version of something we already had, people would still buy it, because they want to play with a life simulation game, and there isn't anything out there that offers the same experience as The Sims. But that's all about to change. Earlier this year, the gaming company Paradox announced that they were going to be releasing a life simulation game similar to The Sims. And this week, the Paradox team did a live stream where they explained some of the features of this new game and showed a trailer. When I first heard that Paradox were making a life sim game, I was beyond excited. EA haven't always been known for making games with the best consumer experience in mind. In fact, it was Paradox who took over the market share for EA's SimCity when they released their game City Skylines. A game that was similar to SimCity, only it didn't have the level of bugs and glitches that SimCity did, and it didn't require players to always be online. So, given Paradox's history of giving players what they actually want and taking the competition by storm previously, I'm very curious as to what the next move from EA will be. I wonder if knowing that some serious competition for The Sims is coming out soon would encourage them to invest more than what they have done in game development and quality control to make sure The Sims 5 stands a chance. Another reason why I'm really excited about this game is because one of the leading developers is Rod Humble, the same guy who played a large role in the development of the most popular Sims games, The Sims 2 and The Sims 3. If you have The Sims 2 free time, you'll be greeted in-game by Rod Humble in every household to give you a gift. Many players feel The Sims has lost some of its magic, some of the quirky charm we saw in some of the earlier games. So hearing that this new game has one of the minds behind the most loved Sims games working on it only strengthens its appeal. Based on the livestream, it looks like there are several features in the Paradox game, Life by You, that we don't currently have in The Sims 4. The game is expected to have a fully open world that is fully customizable, meaning players can place buildings, lots and landmarks wherever they want, something you can't do in The Sims 4. There will be 2 neighbourhoods in base game. They look a bit like the Sims 2 map, but with a major upgrade. You can customise lot size, and you'll also have pre-made businesses that you can place down. The trailer showed a character in an office, which makes me wonder whether the careers will be active, and also with the customisation options, it makes me wonder whether we'll be able to build our own businesses, and therefore our own workplaces and jobs for characters. With it being an open world, there are several modes of transportation expected in base game: cars, bikes, scooters, motorbikes, skateboards, and walking. One impressive feature that Rod announced was that players can actively control vehicles using the keypad to steer the car or other modes of transportation. The trailer also showed a clothing store, suggesting that shopping might be a part of gameplay, throwback to The Sims 2. There's also a conversation system in real language. The conversations are generated based on your character's unique situation, and with thousands of options of dialogue, there's less chance for repetitiveness. You can also switch control to anyone anytime, meaning that you can play as an active household member, but if you see a neighbour that you want to control, you can easily switch over to them. The character editor tool looks like you can provide detailed information regarding your character's personality and background, and the build and buy looks a bit similar to The Sims 4, only it has a colour wheel and seemingly more customisation options. Similarly to The Sims 4, this game will have lots of collectibles, and it's suggested to have more tools available for creating storylines. Although they didn't go into specifics, Rob did let the words quest and skills slip during his talk, but I don't think we were meant to know about that yet. One of the main missions of Paradox for this game is to make it as moddable as possible. The game's team made it pretty clear that making modded objects, clothing, gameplay, conversations, and even quests is highly encouraged. So, with that in mind, they'll be making sure this game is as easy as possible to mod. During the chat, Rod mentioned a few things that set this game apart from The Sims, mentioning that no one likes loading screens when playing a sim game, so there will be no loading screens in this game. He also mentioned memories would be involved, which is music to my ears. There will be no rabbit holes, and you can fully control time, so you can skip forward a day, a year, a decade, whatever you want. There were a few things that were not covered during the live stream. For example, we only saw adults, so we don't know if there will be other life stages. We didn't see weather or pets, and it didn't say whether this game had online or multiplayer functionality. Currently, there isn't a release date for the full game, but you can pre-order it now and have early access in September of this year. The Sims 5 doesn't have a release date. In fact, from what the developers are saying, it'll likely be years away still. So, for the simmers who want to play a life sim game that brings back features like an open world or cars, fear not, you don't have to wait long. I fully intend on playing Life by You, and depending on how it performs, it might also become a regular game in my schedule. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I'm definitely going for the early access in September. And even with the exciting news of Life by You, the competition for The Sims doesn't stop there. As many simmers know by this point, there's also an indie sim game in the works, Paralives. Paralives is being developed by a small group of people, so production naturally takes longer. But even though the game was initially announced around 4 years ago, the Paralives team have done a good job of keeping the community engaged by regularly providing updates on progress and showcasing various game features in videos. Videos showing how build mode works has already generated excitement, as it shows how flexible and customizable objects and build items are. The few clips that we've seen have shown customization beyond what's currently possible in The Sims 4. The avatar creation is also quite impressive. Paralives adopts a simpler art style to The Sims 4, but does again offer more customization than what's currently available in Creator Sim, with sliders for skin tones and a colour wheel for hair. For now, we don't know when Paralives will actually be released, but even having more choice in the future when it comes to life sim games can only be a good thing. And speaking of more choice, there's another life sim game in the pipeline. Currently, we don't have much information on this upcoming sim game, but it is being made by one of the best Sims 4 modders in the game, Arnie. Arnie was responsible for mods that completely took over the Sims 4 map and turned them into open worlds. He made the detailed open world of Brook Heights, a giant city in the game featuring storylines and loads of features that weren't in the game previously. He then made Farmland, another detailed open world with a storyline involving tasks. Arnie made a video around 10 months ago explaining that he'd left the Sims 4 modding community to focus on a project of his own, a new life simulation game. He revealed some early gameplay clips showing that his game will also likely be an open world. He also showed us the detailed smartphone, which isn't much of a surprise given his highly detailed Plumfruit mod for The Sims 4. We don't know much else about this game, but given that Arnie already has a reputation for quality when it comes to his mods, I expect it will certainly be a game worth playing. So it looks like there's finally going to be some actual competition for The Sims. I hope that EA have learned from the failure of SimCity and make The Sims 5 a good enough game to do well despite the competition. Now that players have more options, the Sims team will have to up their game and actually provide new gameplay and value for money. Releasing a pack that hasn't been tested enough or lacks meaningful gameplay will be an even riskier move if there are other life sim games that do have more meaningful gameplay. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I saw the trailer for Life by You and wanted to just talk a little bit about the Sims competition. I know there is also a game called Alter Life that had a trailer around a year ago, and it's listed on Steam. It also looks like it could be a fun life sim game to play, but there just isn't enough information on it yet. It's not even clear as to whether or not it's actually happening, so I guess we'll have to see with that one. What do you think of these new games? Do you think it's a good thing for The Sims to have competition? I'd love to know in the comments. But for now, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, you know I love it when you do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.